Wow, that was quick today. Look like it got dialed in. Killen's up to 846 already. How we doing today? Saturday. We got the bike parked out front with a sign on it that says for sale. I already had a couple people ask me about it. Wouldn't mind selling it today. I'm gonna go. I just packed one. God damn it, Glenn.
How you doing today? What's up, Dragon? How you doing?
Good to see y'all. Welcome to the dungeon. Cheers. Waiting on the kiln. Same old story. Today we're at 866 though.
Hi, Charmer.
How are you today? I gotta close this door. The sun's glaring on the screen. That's better.
Boy, that's a heck of a name. I'm just gonna call you Charm.
Oh, purple Glen, calm. Oh shit, it's getting orange and red now. I just looked at this wall. You motherfucking human spiking. Don't think I don't know.
I seen it. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain too much. Just Charmaine. How you doing, William?
Yeah, you can feel it's awful fucking highly charged environment we're sitting in right now. I'm trying to calm Glenn down. Thanks, Glenn. But yeah, I turned on this wall. I was like, damn, that human might be spiked. Lots of fucking activity going on there. $875. She keeps climbing. So I got a bunch of stuff done yesterday. A bunch of bubblers and pipes. I guess we'll do more of the same today. Probably pipes. A bunch of those today.
Yeah, good to hear, Glenn. I'm glad that I haven't wore out yet.
I got more glitter. If you need more glitter, man, I'll hook you up. I got a whole box of that shit. It's pretty blue glitter. Mm. God, that tastes better. I put a damn for sale sign on that bike today. I need to sell that goddamn thing.
Drive safe, Nick. We'll be listening to It Ain't Sitchin. Hang on a second, I forget. It's Bradbury's The Gods of Eden. I like that one too. Hey, Redhead. We're going to be live here all week.
All day, every day. That'd be nice. Little fucking push button, puff puff pass button. Closest we found to that is Twitch. I can't Twitch. Fucking broke my computer this week. I'm down to my hoopty. It ain't a laptop. It's a Chromebook. It looks like a laptop, though.
Nice, Nick. I am taking a break. Cheers to you.
Taking a break before we get started. 8:88 though. We're getting close. We'll start working.
Nice. What you having for lunch? Thanks, Glenn. Ooh. See what it sounds like on this. Hey, Steve, how you doing, man? We're about to start listening to Bradbury's Gods of Eden. It's another cuneiform writer. That's a good sound. Sounds a lot like Sitchin. he reads different cuneiform, come up with a lot of the same stuff. This one, I'm pretty sure, goes into the whole how they manipulate us every day.
When I first began researching the origins of human warfare, certainly the furthest thing from my mind were unidentified flying objects, better known as UFOs. The many flying saucer magazines, which once graced the newsstands, were, in my opinion, not worthy of serious consideration.
That sounds like a lot more fun than I want to have.
I also did not feel that the UFO phenomenon was terribly important, even if it was evidence of an extraterrestrial race. Solving the down-to-earth problems of war and human suffering seems so much more important than arguing over whether or not little green men from Mars might occasionally be visiting Earth.
We're live today in Denver, Colorado, smoking marijuana.
I began researching this book in 1979, however my desire to see an end to war arose much earlier in life, at just about the age of 8. Back then, war movies were very popular in my circle of friends. Our favorite game was playing Army. I usually commanded one squad of kids, and my friend David led the opposition. We filled our imaginary battles with the same glamour and altruism we saw on television. We had no greater hero than the late actor Vic Morrow, who would gallantly lead his Army squad to victory every week on the TV series Combat. Cheers. One Saturday afternoon, I was watching a Hollywood war movie on television. It was like any other war movie, except that it contained a short piece of numbing realism. For the first time in my life, I found myself looking at a documentary film footage of an actual Nazi concentration camp.
I miss twitching too.
Long after the
I broke my computer.
vanished off the television screen, I was
the fucking on-off button.
Bodies being thrown into large
I knew
pits.
to be careful when I closed it.
Like so many other people, I had trouble fathoming the souls of the Nazis
right off the
who could shove human beings into brick ovens like loaves of bread and moments later pull out charred remains. Within a minute, those grainy black and white images presented a true picture of war. Behind the curt salutes and stirring oratory, war is a little but a degraded psychosis. While war movies and games can sometimes be fun, the real thing is unconscionable. For centuries, scientists and thinkers have attempted to solve the riddle of why people go to war. They have observed that nearly all of Earth's creatures fight among themselves at one time or another, usually over food, territory, or mating. Aggression seems to be a universal behavior related to survival. Other factors also contribute to the creation of wars. The analyst must take into consideration such variables as human psychology, sociology, political leadership, economic conditions, and the natural surroundings. Many thinkers, however, have erroneously equated all human motives with motives found in the animal kingdom. This is a mistake. Because intelligence breeds complexity. As creatures rise in intelligence, then motivations tend to become more elaborate. It's easy to understand the mental stimuli in two alley cats squabbling over a scrap of food, but it would be a mistake to attribute a simple state of mind to a terrorist planting a bomb in an airport. I began this study as the result of a single idea I had encountered. The concept is certainly not a new one, and at first it seems narrow in scope. The idea is nevertheless quite important because it addresses a motivation which can be formulated by creatures of high intelligence. War can be its own valuable commodity. The simple existence of violent conflict between groups of people can, in itself, be valuable to someone regardless of the issues over which people are fighting. An obvious example is an armaments manufacturer selling military hardware to warring nations, or a lending institution making loans to governments during wartime. Both can achieve an economic benefit from the mere existence of war, as long as the violence does not directly touch them.
Too. How you doing,
The
Daniel?
value of war as a commodity exists well beyond monetary gain. War can be an effective tool for maintaining social and political control over a large population. In the 16th century, Italy consisted of numerous independent principalities which were often at war with one another. When prince conquered a neighboring city, he would sometimes breed internal conflicts among the vanquished citizens. This was an effective way to maintain political control over the people because the endless squabbling prevented the vanquished people from engaging in unified action against the conqueror. That's exactly what they're doing to us now with the Patriot movement, the teabaggers, and the rest of it. My God, to a T. And you, of course, it comes from Italy, doesn't it? I mean, I mean, think about that. Does that not sound like Alex Jones to a T to you? I mean, look at his connection to Italy. Divide and conquer, right there. They've been doing it to the people for thousands of years. He would breed internal conflicts among the vanquished citizens. This was an effective way to maintain political control over the people because the endless squabbling prevented the vanquished people from engaging in unified action against the conqueror. It did not greatly matter what issues the people biggered, so long as they valiantly struggled against one another and not against the conquering prince. Bingo.
Or you could get a hold of Anna, because they got a bunch of custom stuff already
made. That's why Alex Jones and the Council for National Policy, and the phony truth movement, half-truth movement, the phony patriots, and the white nationalists, and all these clowns, they're going down.
They got some definitely unique stuff. It's at Rigs4Us Denver. That's where I'm at all week.
You go away. You thought people wouldn't be paying attention. It's over for you. Your time is over.
Seamus is going to be 18 in 6 days.
Go be the little corporate suckers of Satan's cock that you deserve to be, and let the rest of us.
So I'm blowing off up until then.
We appreciate you.
But yeah, if you want something custom, just like special or something made, get a hold of me in Messenger, or
to think in ways that they
Anna
would not otherwise do.
Damn good deals.
And to accept the formation of institutions that they would normally reject.
All the time. There's a lot of folks in here have bought from Anna out here.
Everybody had such a hard on.
Chad's in here today. He'll walk you through if you got and show you everything. They've got some amazing stuff up there.
Against gun rights and everything else for years, flipping over and voting Republican for Ron Paul.
Yeah, it's hard to believe he's going to be 18. I'm tripping on it. Fuck, man. 6 days.
Because
I only got 6 days to beat on him with my belt.
Or anything but a Bush.
He's going to be a man.
And they turn around and put Obama in there, and he's the same, if not worse. Unbelievable. Accepting the formation of institutions they would normally reject. Yeah, that's key. Man, this is exactly what's going on right now. This is unbelievable. And this is a war. This phony info war that they've put on us, well, it's a real info war now.
You can hear it in the cuneiform too. They just call these things different places than what we call them today.
Phony patriots and CMP and all this stuff.
But yeah, some people I think are starting to catch on. This is a global thing.
These guys are
it ain't going away.
There's no way you can cut it or beat around the bush about it. These guys are serving the enemy. You need to understand that.
We're still ruled over by the crown and scepter. I mean, that throne was fitted around the fucking tablets of destiny. That ain't no fucking coincidence, man. I'm all fucked. Look at that shit. These motherfuckers are still playing this game.
This type of manipulative third-party activity. It is no secret, for example, that prior to the American Revolution, France had sent intelligence agents to America to stir up colonial discontent against the British Crown. It's also no secret that the German military had aided Lenin and the Bolsheviks in the Russian Revolution of 1917. Throughout all of history, people and nations have benefited from and have contributed to the existence of other people's conflicts. Intrigued by these concepts, I resolved to do a study to determine just how important the third-party factor has been in human history. I wanted to discover what common threads, if any, may have existed between various third-party influences in history. It was my hope that this study would offer added insight into how and by whom history has been made. What resulted from this modest goal was one of the most extraordinary odysseys I have ever taken. Well, here, brother, I feel you. That's how it is. I mean, as soon as you decide you're okay, I'm gonna take this ball and run with it. That's what I did when I first started finding out about the CMP. My God, never thought it would be this. Whew, man, oh man, oh man. There was an awesome female about 10 years ago told me, you know what? Hey, be careful what you go looking for, what you go searching for, because you just might find it. Boy, she was as right as you could be. The trail of investigation wove through a complex labyrinth of remarkable facts, startling theories, and everything in between. As I dug even deeper, a common thread did emerge.
I gotta go grab my for sale sign. I think I just sold the bike.
I terminated my research in disgust.
Be right back.
I've been there too. You get to the point where you're like, there's no fucking way I'm going to believe this. I don't give a fuck if I've got the evidence. I'm not going to believe this. There's no fucking way I'm going to believe this. This is too. You do get like that, because this stuff's fucking crazy. It's not for the faint of heart, man. It's not for the mentally or emotionally challenged either. This shit can make you go batshit fucking crazy if you're not careful. If you're already somebody who's mentally unstable or on SSRIs. This shit can make you batty. And I don't mean moon batty in a good way either. As I pondered my predicament, I realized something important. Rational minds tend to seek rational causes to explain human problems. As I probed deeper, however, I was compelled to face the possibility that some human problems may be rooted in some of the most utterly bizarre realities imaginable. Because such realities are rarely acknowledged, let alone understood, they are not dealt with. As a result, the problems those realities generate are rarely resolved, and so the world seems to stumble from one calamity to the next. I will admit that when I began my research, I had a bias about what I was expecting to find. A human profit motive as the common thread which links various third-party influences in mankind's violent history. What I found instead was the UFO. Nothing could have been more unwelcome. So that's the end of chapter 1 there. I can continue on here with chapter 2, entitled Orientation. Husband to wife. Look at this, honey. It says here that the Earth travels 595 million miles an hour around the sun every year at the speed of 66,000 miles per hour. At the same time, the Earth is rotating around the center of the galaxy. The galaxy is traveling endlessly through space and is pulling the Earth along it with it. Now, how can you say that we never go anywhere, honey? Hello and welcome. This is our planet Earth. Before starting our journey throughout history, let us take a brief look at our little space orb from the vantage point of newcomers undergoing a brief orientation. Spaceship Earth, as some people like to call it, is a relatively small celestial body. The American Space Shuttle can completely orbit the Earth in only 90 minutes. In modern aircraft, the crossing of once formidable oceans has become a little more than a dull routine for many an airborne business person playing his or her trade between continents. By merely picking up the telephone and dialing, one can speak instantly to someone on the opposite side of the globe. We are all witnesses to the remarkable manner in which high-speed travel and telecommunications make contact between distant points on Earth quickly and easily manageable. Earth is not only small, it is also quite remote. If you and I were to take a position outside of the Milky Way galaxy, we would see that Earth is near the galaxy's outer edge. In addition, the Milky Way is dwarfed by much larger galaxies. This isolated location might help explain why Earth has so few contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations. If such civilizations exist, Earth is afloat in the distant boondocks of a minor galaxy. Despite its isolation, Earth is pretty and it is inhabited, and as of this writing, the human population numbers over 5 billion. Add to that the figure of all the other large mammals, and we find that the lands and waters of Earth are occupied by an enormous population of intelligent and semi-intelligent creatures. What kind of animals are human beings? As a student of biology can quickly tell you, humans constitute that animal species known as Homo sapiens. The word Homo sapiens comes from the Latin word for man, and sapiens means being wise or sensible. The label Homo sapiens therefore denotes a creature possessed of wisdom or sensibility. Most Homo sapiens do live up to their title by and large, although a small number obviously do not. When dealing with a human being, are we only confronting an animal? As it turns out, we are not. It appears that we are faced with something much more important, a spiritual being. The idea that there is a spiritual reality to life is ageless. Some religions have held the belief for millennia that human bodies are mere puppets animated by spiritual beings. Often accompanying this tenet in doctrines concerning reincarnation or an afterlife, in the Christian religion, the word soul has long been used to denote a spiritual entity which survives the death of the physical body. Some people claim that an ancient wisdom about the spirit it had once existed. If such wisdom ever did exist, it long ago became hopelessly bemuddled by countless false ideas, strange mystical beliefs and practices, incomprehensible symbolism, and erroneous scientific teachings. As a result, the subject of the spirit is today almost unstudyable. On top of that, many scholars trained in Western scientific method often reject the idea of a soul entirely. Apparently because they cannot put a spirit under a microscope and watch it squiggle or plant electrodes in it and give it a jolt. As good fortune would have it, some breakthroughs on the subject have been made within recent decades. Evidence that every person is a unique spiritual being is strong indeed. Volumes of fascinating testimony have been gathered from people who have undergone so-called near-death experiences, which of course is, DMT, dimethyltryptamine. During such episodes, many people undergo the sensation of leaving their bodies, especially as their bodies approach death. Some psychiatrists argue that this phenomenon is nothing more than a self-protective illusion of the mind. Wrong. We got a nice consolation prize for you, though. Thanks for playing. I mean, that's definitely outdated. No, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that's anything but the case. DMT has a very distinct function that is there at birth and at death, and also when you can first determine when a child is male or female in the womb, which also coincides with what the Tibetan Book of the Dead describes at the same time when a soul can inhabit in a new body on Earth. How'd they know that?
I'm back.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I had to get a sign off my
It
body.
says that many near-death victims are able to perceive their bodies from an accurate exterior perspective. They retain their complete self-awareness and personal identity.
We're going to Harbor Freight tonight.
Unconscious. In light of such testimony, it is not surprising that few religions such as
Get my ass.
Buddhism
Hey John, how you doing? Get my ass a generator for that fucking RV.
in bodies during
Fucking
life.
finally sold that bike.
Buddhists conclude that this is caused, at least in part,
Will today.
by the spirit's long-term interaction with the physical universe. In sharp contrast to psychiatric theory, Buddhists teach that spiritual separation from the body is the healthiest state for human beings.
So how you doing, my friend?
That would,
Yeah, good news.
like we were talking about earlier, if spiritual separation from the body is the healthiest state for human beings, that would go a long way towards the idea that our souls are enslaved and trapped in these five-sense material bodies, now wouldn't it?
Get the fucking generator in there, everything be working right.
Without suffering physical trauma or death. Is encouraged by the belief that a spiritual being can operate a body as well or better from outside a body as from within. The definition
Thank you very
of a
much.
spiritual being shared by several
Nice.
religions appears to be the most accurate one. A spiritual
So I'm
being
about
is an entity
17 minutes from a
possessed
Harbor
of
Freight and it
awareness,
closes at 8.
creativity,
I'm good.
and personality, is not composed of matter or any other component of the physical universe.
Nice.
It appears instead to be an immortal
We're gonna
unit
have
of
our
awareness
asses a fucking
which cannot perish, or
generator
can become
tonight.
entrapped by physical
I
matter.
even call them to make sure.
The spiritual being is fully capable of understanding. So yes, the immortal soul cannot die, but it becomes entrapped by physical matter. And
Harbor
that's
Freight
exactly
near
what we
me.
are. Someone figured out how to entrap us into these physical plane bodies by matter itself. That's why there's such a push to understand the nature of matter and reality and certain.
I need a new phone.
That's why they're pushing for this. So they can learn how to manipulate.
With better service so we could do lives from the road.
Is to view the
While I'm
body
driving
as
down the road.
as
I got a rear view camera in that motherfucker, man. I planned it like that shit. You be seeing the rear view and the front. Going down the road, listening to us fucking jabber at each other.
This reveals the brain to be nothing more than a sophisticated switchboard capable of being able to be activated.
Be safe, John.
By a variety of external sources, such as an experimenter with his electrodes, or even perhaps by a spiritual being with its own energy output. The interaction between a spiritual entity and the body's central nervous system here appears to be so intimate.
Harbor Freight
that
near
change
me.
in one can often influence the behavior of the other. From all of this emerges a picture indicating that human beings are spiritual entities who enjoy a certain spiritual immortality, but who are usually unaware of it until an unexpected separation occurs. During life, spiritual beings tend to utilize almost exclusively the perceptions of the physical body. Death, according to this analysis, is little more than spiritual abandonment of the body during a time of intense physical or sometimes even mental injury. What does all of this have to do with human warfare? Almost everything, as we shall see. That brings us to the third and final topic of our orientation, UFOs. There are a few subjects today as full of false information, deceit, and madness as flying saucers. Well, that's absolutely true. Many earnest people who attempt to study the subject are driven around in circles by a terrific amount of dishonesty from a small number of people who, for the sake of a fleeting moment of notoriety, or with the deliberate intention to obfuscate, have clouded the field with false reports, untenable explanations, and fraudulent evidence. Suffice to say that behind this smokescreen there is ample evidence of extraterrestrial visitations to Earth. This is too bad. It has an in-depth study of UFO phenomena reveals that it does not offer a happy little romp to the titillating unknown. The UFO appears to be more and more one of the greatest realities.
Hi, how are you doing?
Brief orientation in mind. Let us now begin a deeper probe.
He's busy.
Chapter 3, UFOs, Truth or Fiction. UFOs,
So I see 3 of them right around me. 17
Strictly
minutes.
speaking, the term unidentified flying object refers to any aerial object which cannot be positively identified as a man-made construction or as any known phenomenon of nature. The term implies a mystery. In common parlance, UFOs often used to denote any object which might be a spacecraft from an extraterrestrial civilization. The phrase unidentified flying object was coined by U.S. Air Force Captain Edward J. Ruppel. Ruppel led an Air Force investigation into the phenomenon in 1951. Prior to his investigation, UFOs were usually called flying saucers because many eyewitnesses described the objects as disc-shaped. Flying saucer quickly became a term of
Oh shit, there's a fucking shit ton of them.
skepticism expressed by many newspaper and magazine writers. Unidentified flying object was caused by Captain Ruppel to lend his Air Force study an air of respectability. UFO is also a more accurate term. Not
Hi, I'm looking. Do you have generators
Yeah, I see
on stock?
Right.
You have 30 amp?
I think I have to.
What? Do you have a few? I guess.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking at this. You're right, man. Thanks for the heads up on the bro.
What? How many amps are there? How much do they run?
Yeah, I don't go ahead and have to agree.
30 amp kiln or 15 amp. I'm looking for two 15 amp breakers, basically, at least, if not a 30 amp feed.
Honestly, I think at this point, and I'm scrolling through here more and more. Yeah, God, thanks for the heads up, dude.
Not really.
I was gonna read this, but man, I'm glad.
I don't know, 3,000.
Yeah. None of this is fucking page after page of a lot of information.
Yeah, but with a 30 amp cord plug in.
I disagreed at first, but now I'm reading this now. Oh, damn, this goes on.
What type are those? Tell me about those. Those are I'm interested in.
So before I can reach out to her, honestly, I don't see anything here out of all these fucking 30 pages of chapter 3 that seemed to be something that you wouldn't know.
The 30 amp. How much do those run?
This already sounds like this is more up our alley right here. Here we go. All right. Thanks, Nick, for the heads up on that, dude. I appreciate that. I have to agree with you 100%.
Okay, cool. So you have a few in stock with the 30 amp feed. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, have a good day.
The gods of Eden. The chapter is also called
Nice.
The idea that human beings are a slave race owned by an extraterrestrial society is not a new one. It was expressed
You know what I need to do?
in mankind's earliest recorded civilizations. The first of those civilizations was Sumeria, a remarkably advanced society which arose in the Tigris-Euphrates River Valley between 5000 and 4000 BC. It flourished as a major civilization by 3500 BC, and like other ancient societies which arose in the Mesopotamian region, Sumeria left records stating that human-like creatures of extraterrestrial origin had ruled early human society as Earth's first monarchs. And then those monarchs, through genetic manipulation, gave the largest amounts of their DNA to the white-skinned people to create in the Caucasus Mountain region to create the Caucasoids, and those were the demigods. Those are the ones they put in positions of power. Those alien people were often thought of as quote-unquote gods. Some Sumerian gods were said to travel to the skies and through the heavens in flying globes and rocket-like vehicles. Ancient carvings depict several gods wearing goggle-like apparel over their eyes. Human priests acted as mere intermediaries between the alien gods and the human population. Bing fucking go. Bing fucking go. That statement right there, god damn. Again, thank you, Nick, for telling me to read this on Android. I struggle to explain that in that way for years. I mean, I've known it. I've had the evidence. I've talked about it a million times on the show. But I don't think I've ever heard it quite put that fucking way and to be so accurate. That's exactly how it is. And I got news for you. It's no different today. Human priests acted as mere intermediaries between the alien gods and the human population. Folks, that to a T describes the priest class. That's what the Vatican and the Pope and the Jesuits and the Black Pope, that's what it's all about. And we're told that they're the intermediaries to the spirit world or to God or to whatever. They're the intermediaries between the extraterrestrials. They always have been. They kept that knowledge in secret to themselves, passed it on to generation to generation in secret, then dealt that little bit to the human population that would allow them to remain in control. I've never heard it put a better way than that. The human priests acted as intermediaries between the alien gods and the human population. They still do to this day, and they're still running the game in the way that they see fit. Period. All of my years of research tell me that is 100% absolutely true. Not all Mesopotamian gods were human-like extraterrestrials. Some are obvious fabrications, and fictitious attributes were often ascribed to the extraterrestrial human-like gods. Once the blatant fictions are stripped away, however, we discover within the Mesopotamian pantheon a distinct class of beings who indeed fit the ancient astronaut mold. it would be necessary for me to invent a new term. The word God alone contains too much undeserved awe. Historical and modern day testimony indicates that these gods are as human in their behavior as you and I. The term ancient astronaut pigeonholes them into the distant past when in fact they appear to have maintained a continuous presence all the way up until today. The label extraterrestrial is too broad. I cannot name the gods after any star or planet from which they might hail because I will not speculate as to their place of origin. Furthermore, it is conceivable that the alleged ownership of Earth may have changed hands over the millennia. In the same way that ownership of a corporation can pass along among different owners without the public being aware of it. I would have to say I can agree with that. That leads me to invent a new label based upon the gods' apparent relationship to the human race. For lack of anything better, I will simply refer to them as the custodial society, meaning the specific extraterrestrial society or succession of societies which appears to have had ownership and custody of the earth since prehistory. For brevity, I will often refer to them simply as custodians. Okay, so from now on, let's go ahead and lay that. I have to do this sometimes when I read books. Because then an author, because what happens is I'll start reading something, and like now, chapter 4, and then we'll get on chapter, 52, 3 months from now, and we'll refer to, as custodians, and somebody will tune in 3 months from now after I've been reading this fucking book forever, and they'll go, why the hell are you talking about custodians? Why the hell are you talking custodian? Are they cleaning shit up from Alfred or Colditz or what? We're right there. So let's go ahead and write it in stone now. When we talk about custodians from here on out, when we're reading this book, we're talking about, the extraterrestrials, the ones who see the light. Okay, clear? All right. What sorts of creatures are these newly labeled custodians? Historical records and modern testimony describe them as physically human-like, racially diverse, and most importantly, very similar to human beings behaviorally. For example, some modern-era UFOs have exhibited adolescent prankishness by racing in airplanes as though they were going to collide and then abruptly veering away just as impact seemed imminent, an apparent game of aerial chicken. At least one modern witness is alleged being zapped by a UFO for no other apparent reason than malice. Ancient writers described their extraterrestrial gods as being capable of love, hate, amusement, anger, honesty, and depravity. Ancient records and modern testimony alike would indicate that custodial personalities run the entire gamut from saints to sinners, from the most degraded of despots to the most true-hearted of humanitarians. Sadly, it is the brutal and despotic element of their society that would appear to be the most influential in the affairs of Earth, as we shall document. The ancient Mesopotamian civilizations recorded a great deal of history on clay tablets. Only a fraction of those tablets have survived, yet they managed to tell a remarkable story about the custodial gods and their relationship to Homo sapiens. According to the history inscribed on Mesopotamian tablets, there was a time when human beings did not exist at all. Instead, Earth was inhabited by members of the custodial civilization. Custodial life on Earth was not pleasant, however. Custodial efforts to exploit the rich mineral and natural resources were proved backbreaking, as one tablet tells us. When the gods like men bore the work and suffered the toil of the gods was great, the work was heavy, the distress was much. Right, I talked about that last night. When they started deciding to create humans as a slave race using their own DNA, dumbasses didn't factor in. They were so drunk with power and arrogance with their technology, much of the same way we are. People think, if you're so smart and people are so smart to have technology, they wouldn't make mistakes with it if they were smart enough to have the technology. Well, that's horseshit, especially if it's true that what he's saying here about how similar to us they are. As above, so below. As in the macrocosm, so in the microcosm. Anything that happens on a large scale in the universe happens on a small scale in the universe as well. And ultimately, what ended up happening was that, and it's to this day, this is why you and I are here. This is why we won't be enslaved. It is in our DNA to not be enslaved because the quote-unquote gods of the custodians were enslaved. They were princes and kings. They didn't want to be enslaved. And so, my God, that's why they wanted us wiped ourselves and our souls to be trapped and enslaved by anybody. And those that do allow it to are doing it because they're deceiving themselves. The tablets describe lives of endless drudgery as the gods carried out buildings, excavation, and mining operations on Earth. The gods were not at all happy with their lot. They were prone to complaining, backstabbing, and rebellion against their leaders. A solution was needed, and it was found. To create a new creature capable of performing the same labors on Earth as the custodians, with this purpose in mind, the custodial gods created Homo sapiens, or man. The Mesopotamian tablets tell a creation story in which a god is put to death by other gods. The body and the blood are then mixed into clay. Out of this concoction, a human being is made. And that's interesting because, again, body and blood mixed into clay. Out of this concoction, a human being is made. The little reptilian alien statues that are holding babies and have Masonic-looking aprons on that were found in the they came from the Uday Empire, pre-Sumeria, and were stolen from the Iraq National Museum in 2003 during the invasion.
Okay. I was hunting.
They're also made out of clay. That maybe that's possibly why they're mixing. And some people speculate, yes, that indeed that is it. That they
Hey, Nick, have a good one, my friend. What's up, Coffee? How you doing?
Hybridization program by creating super soldiers out of weaponized Nephilim blood. It's a very real possibility. And the Mesopotamian tablets, it says, out of this concoction human being is made, the new earth creature is very similar in appearance to its custodial creators. In his book, The 12th Planet, author Zachariah Sitchin
What's up, Buckeye? How you doing?
To the Sumerian creation stories. He concludes that the tale of the god's body being mixed with clay may have referred to
Looking for a generator. I got the bike sold.
By pointing to those Sumerian tablets, which state that the first humans were bred in the wombs of female custodial gods. According to the tablets, custodians had male and female bodies, and they bred by sexual intercourse. In fact, ancient Mesopotamians stated that they provided ruling custodial gods with human prostitutes. Mr. Sitchin believes that the clay was a special substance that could be inserted into the custodial womb, that the substance held the genetically engineered cells of the new slave.
I may jet out in a little bit to go get a generator.
They be bred in that fashion because they were physically very similar to the custodians.
Man.
Interestingly, modern scientists have bred animals in similar fashions, such as a zebra in the womb of a horse.
Then y'all be left in Glenn's hands. Fucking God knows what's happening then. Well, happy Saturday to you too. Right? We're listening to William Bradbury's Gods of Eden.
Ancient Sumerian texts reveal that Ea's title was not entirely accurate because Ea was said to have lost his dominion over Megan.
Read by Josh Reeves.
His half-brother Enlil during one of the innumerable rivalries and intrigues that seemed to forever preoccupy custodial rulers. In addition to engineering Homo sapiens, Prince Ea is given credit for
Thanks, Glenn.
Other accomplishments. If he was a real person, then Ea could be described as a scientist and civil engineer of considerable talent. He is said to have drained marshes by the Persian Gulf and to have replaced them with fertile agricultural land. He supervised the construction of dams and dikes. Ea loved sailing, and he built ships in which to navigate the seas. When it came time to create Homo sapiens, Ea demonstrated a good grasp of genetic engineering, but not according to the tablets, without trial and error. Most importantly, Ea was described as good-hearted, at least in regard to his creation, Homo sapiens.
It's chill your fucking human time.
As an advocate of custodial councils on behalf of the new Earth race, he opposed many of the cruelties that other custodial rulers, including his half-brother Enlil, inflicted upon humans. It would appear that from the Sumerian tablets that Ea did not intend Homo sapiens to be harshly treated, but his wishes in that regard
remain calm at all times. We're fixing to blow some glass. What temperature we at over
our
here?
ancient and highly civilized ancestors told
Hey,
very
he's
different
getting
story of
ready.
humanity's emergence on Earth than we tell
Throw
today.
stuff in the kiln.
The Mesopotamians were clearly not schooled in Darwinian theories of evolution. Nevertheless, there is some surprising anthropological evidence to support the Sumerian version of prehistory. According to modern-day analysis of the fossil record, Homo sapiens emerged as a distinct animal species somewhere between 300,000 BC and 700,000 BC. As time progressed, a number of subspecies of Homo sapiens emerged, including that subspecies to which all human beings belong today, Homo sapiens sapiens. Homo sapiens sapiens appeared a mere 30,000 years ago. Some say only 10 to 20,000 years ago, and that raises an important question. Were the Sumerians referring to Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens sapiens in their creation stories?
I think sapiens, then sapiens.
Excellent arguments have been made that they were referring to original Homo sapiens. I tend to favor the argument they were probably referring to modern Homo sapiens sapiens for the following reasons. Well, before we read his following reasons, let me say this. I believe, I'll read what he has to say.
Here's what I got done.
I don't know if I necessarily believe that 100%.
Shit.
Because what my research has shown me is that.
Yay. It's still working. So I got all that done. Bunch of pipes. We'll make some more pipes today. Couple of double piece pipes. Popping off stuff. That's what we got done in the last 2 days. I told you I could work faster. How'd Virginia? From my bigger kiln over here at Honest.
Were the
Get a
ones
lot
where
more done.
Essentially where the bloodline spawned
Than
from.
usual. So I don't talk as much.
And that the Homo sapiens sapiens
blessing
came
for Glenn.
later and were basically what we consider to be, all of us, the Heinz 57s, or mass-produced, mass-engineered humans. So I could be wrong about that.
Fucking hot in here.
But I've seen this argument before, and it comes up a lot in this type of discussion. But
Is that cool?
except from what I've seen, the original Homo sapiens were essentially they decided not to mass produce them in order to be able to keep their supremacy and their power in place. They made the original Homo sapiens be the ones that ended up being the demigods, the bloodlines. Then created another slave race, which was essentially what you would consider a copy of a copy.
Copy of a copy with more and more.
And this is what became, like what the Jews refer to as, the Goy. I don't know. You believe me, you believe Bramley, believe yourself, look into yourself. I don't know, but let's see what Bramley has to say here. He says, this is what, but he believes the opposite of that. He believes that they were referring to what the ancient Mesopotamians were referring to.
Doing pretty good, Unicorn. How you doing?
And again, I don't think that's
pretty sure I just sold the bike. Say you're going to drop by $2,000 today. Come on, blowing up here.
5,000 BC.
So we're gonna get us a generator and have a refrigerator and fucking everything working here.
Then it would survive 295,000 years or more. If the Sumerians were describing the creation of Homo sapiens sapiens, later events described in Mesopotamian tablets fall within a more plausible time frame. Well, that's the whole thing is that's an assumption that
batteries
opinion
generated up and everything. Good to hear, Unicorn.
An incomplete picture. I mean, we don't have all the evidence and the information. So I think for Bramley to have that opinion, he's basing that on information we just flat don't have, unless he knows something that you and I don't or don't have access to. You know what I mean? But that's maybe
something you ain't read yet.
Species Homo sapiens, and they
he
were
never
primarily
considers
concerned
that, does he?
with how they themselves had come into existence.
Maybe
And
something you just haven't read yet.
Sumerians depicted hairy animal-like men who appeared to be in a more primitive subspecies of Homo sapiens. That reminds me. I have a
funny. I find this shit more interesting than the science fiction I used to read as a child, and it's reality. It's more insane than the fucking insane.
This is from the AFP. Lost in Evolution: A Hairy Penis and a Tiny Brain.
Hey.
Some defining human traits: a penis bereft of the stiff sensory hairs common to many male mammals, a bulging brain come less from new genes than genetic material loss through evolution.
Let's see how this looks.
The findings suggest a new way of thinking about
Pick up some volume.
what sets Homo sapiens sapiens, or modern man, apart from our close evolutionary cousins, especially the chimpanzee, whose DNA overlaps ours by 97%. How ironic is that? I would have this story tonight. Isn't that crazy? Listen to this. Most research on this question has looked for what is genetically novel in humans and focused on genes themselves rather than regulatory mechanisms that drive them. Oh man, this is huge. This is exactly, I mean, this is absolute proof that we were tinkering with. This is the whole thing right here. And they're trying to spin it and say, oh, yeah, those things, evolution just did away with it. No, evolution didn't do away with that. Certain traits were bred out of us because we were created with high technology. But we asked, are there functional, highly concerned genetic elements in the chimpanzee genome that are completely missing in humans? More than 500 of these deeply rooted clutches of DNA found in chimps and their evolutionary forebear going back millions of years are entirely absent from the human genome.
Because we're closer genetically to pigs.
Oh, this is unbelievable. I read this earlier. I just saw this right there.
They repair your heart valve with a pig's valve, not a monkey valve.
Millions of years are entirely absent.
It's all about rejection.
So this whole evolved from chimps and monkey things, like as we've always known, has fucking holes in it 7 ways to Sunday.
Think about it.
Also missing in
eat too much pork to get the same symptoms as cannibalism.
Species at least 500,000 years ago, before the evolutionary split with our doomed cave-dwelling cousins. Losing bits of regulatory DNA, but not the genes they control, means that the related changes in autonomy behavior are likely to be subtle. They were bred out. Oh man, that's just unbelievable, unfucking believable. Oh, it's just no question. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. There it is. I'll get back into reading this, but I had to cover that, man, because I had that on my plate earlier, and it's just crazy synchronicity because we were just sitting here talking about this. Let's continue on here. If Mesopotamian creation stories are based upon actual events, and if those stories refer to the creation of Homo sapiens sapiens, we would expect Homo sapiens sapiens to appear very suddenly in history. Remarkably, that is precisely what happened. Yeah, we just appeared out of nowhere. That's what the whole evolution thing fits in with everything else on the planet, but it doesn't fit in with us because evolution is a slow thing. It takes thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years, to occur. And boom, here comes humans, plop down, and we're the only thing that doesn't fit in. We're the only thing that doesn't fit in on this whole fucking planet. You ever notice that? We're how many people go through their daily life and never ever even question it. Who do you think? Oh, humans, we're just so great. We're above everything else. No, we're the only thing that does not fit in on this planet. We're the only thing here that's not like everything else. I mean, is there another planet we can go to? Or, it's not right that we should be here. I don't want to die. But, I don't want to do a voluntary extinction program. Get yourself on the planet. But, I mean, they want to blame us for everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Global warming's all our fault, Everything's our fault. Oh, it's your fault that pollution is bad, so we're going to tax you into the ground, slave. They always blame us. We haven't had a chance or say in this, folks. Since day one, we were created as a species. You understand this? The people that are in charge now, that are the progeny of the custodians, as they call them in this book, they never gave us a chance. They never gave us a say in this. So all the misery and the slaughter and the death and the pollution and the killing of species on this planet, it's happening because we were planted here. And, if all this stuff is true, that we've been talking about, from through the years and reading here, like we're reading tonight from the Gods of Eden, if what we're reading here here in this book right now is true, then I'll tell you one thing. I can understand fully why there ain't ever been any other fucking quote-unquote intelligent life ever want to have anything to do with us. Because you can bet your bottom dollar any other intelligent life out there full knows full well the whole story of where we came from, we were created by.
Don't
And
worry,
we're on this backwater planet way back in the North 40 of the fucking,
this used to get thrown.
we literally are, man. We're in the fucking backwoods of the solar system. We're in the backwoods of the universe. Way back here in the middle of nowhere where there ain't shit going on. We're back on the fucking North 40. And, there are probably extraterrestrial races out there that know the genocidal nature of the people that create us. And like, fuck those people, man. They're fucking crazy. Can't get anywhere near that goddamn planet anyway. They got fucking space beams and laser weapons and all kinds of shit out there. Fuck them. We're nowhere near that fucking shithole. I mean, really. I mean, if all this is true, I understand why we haven't been contacted by anything. Other than the people we have been contacted by, I think are these same custodians. I think you're a fool if you think that the people in charge are colluding with these people to this day, or some progeny of them, most likely. I don't know. The mystery of this abrupt appearance is deepened by another puzzle. Why did the more primitive Neanderthal man suddenly vanish at the same time as the modern Homo sapiens sapiens appeared? Oh, well, I don't know. Somebody's one, Johnny. Evolution is not that fast. Exactly what I just said. Masters Howe and White pondered this question and concluded the utter, almost abrupt disappearance of Neanderthal people remains one of the enigmas and critical problems of the studies of human evolution. The Encyclopedia Britannica concurs. The factors responsible for the disappearance of the Neanderthal people proves an important problem to which there is unfortunately still no clear solution. The Sumerian creation stories do offer a clear solution to the riddle, but it is one that many people would have a difficult time accepting. The sudden appearance of Homo sapiens sapiens, accompanied by the abrupt disappearance of Neanderthal man, was caused by intelligent intervention. It might be conjectured that Neanderthal man was either exterminated or hauled off from the earth to make room for the new slave race, and perhaps to prevent breeding between the two subspecies. Whatever the precise truth of this may be, we do know two facts with certainty. Modern anthropology has discovered a sudden replacement of Neanderthal man with modern man, and Mesopotamian records state that intelligent planning by an extraterrestrial race lays somewhere behind this dramatic event. In Chapter 2, we discussed the fact that humans appear to be spiritual beings animating physical bodies. Yes. The spirit seems to be the true source of awareness, personality, and intelligence. Without a spiritual entity to animate it, the human body would be little more than a reactive animal or dead. The people of ancient Mesopotamia thoroughly understood this critical fact when they mentioned a spiritual being in connection with the creation of Homo sapiens. And from the Sumerian text, it says, "You have slaughtered a god together with his personality, spiritual being. I have removed your heavy work. I have imposed your toil on man." The study of work is revealed that you can keep spiritual beings permanently attached to human bodies in order to animate those bodies and make them intelligent enough to perform their labors. They have the ability to access the spiritual realms and figure out how to engage.
I think I'm going to go deliver the bike.
That existed inside this one body. The mystery of this appearance is
21 minutes.
Last time, page 22,
It's about a 20-minute drive.
and we're discussing this puzzle and the Sumerians and the Neanderthals, so we can get back in that. Why did the primitive Neanderthal man vanish at the same time that modern Homo sapiens appear? Evolution is not that fast. The almost abrupt disappearance of the Neanderthal people.
Tell you what. I'm going to go sell that bike. We'll be back in a little bit. So, well, you know what? Maybe tomorrow. Once I get the money in hand, I'm probably going to want to get a generator. I don't know. We'll see. I might be back in a couple of hours. Hey, good boy. Oh, yeah. Good news.
Oh yeah, we got an RV, Virginia. Thank you. We did. I'm fixing to go get a generator. Just sold the bike.
That way we can work
From the road and give fucking full updates and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And our refrigerator will work. Hot water. Probably can have a shower. I can get a shower.
Actually, I'd probably rather have one at the fucking state park or whatever because they're nicer. You know how RV showers are. I might get us a bigger water pump or something. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm okay with a Navy shower. You know, I've done that before.
Once.
Attached to human bodies in order to animate those bodies and make them intelligent to perform their labors. In the play of God and man, the visible body of Homo sapiens shall be found. So you be brought together so that to the end of days the flesh and soul, which in God had ripened, that the soul for the blood kinship be bound. The tablets are silent about which personalities were chosen to animate the new slave bodies. Based upon how things are done in human society, we might guess that the historical society used criminals, deviants, prisoners of war, detested social and racial groups, non-conformists, and other undesirables to obtain spiritual beings that were to animate the new slave race of the earth. Humans were certainly treated like convicts sentenced to hard labor. As BC born, humans were brutally treated by their extraterrestrial masters. The clay tablets tell us of vast and catastrophic cruelty perpetrated by custodians against their human servants. Cold-blooded population control measures were carried out frequently. This sounds no different than today, doesn't it? 1,200 years have not yet passed when the land extended and the peoples multiplied. The land was bellowing like a bull, for God got disturbed with their uproar, and lo,
Okay, I'm on it. I will. Damn. I'll catch you guys when I catch you in a couple hours, or maybe to tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. You have a good night. So, if not, beautiful day out. At least it is here. Go enjoy it. Keep your shoe in calm. It's kind of spiky. At least it looked like it.